Okay. Beware.
Aloha.
All right, partner. You know what time it is.
Let's get it started in here. Cowboy. Time.
RE-MASCULATE.
Dig it up, dig it up. Well, good morning, mud babies, pod people, and inhabitants of the planet Earth. It is I, your tiki leader, Steve MUDFLAP McGrew, and the countdown now is at 8 days till Hawaii.
T-8.
T-8
Till Hawaii?
Till Hawaii.
Now, are we all going?
Yeah. I'm taking you with because you'll be on my Skype.
It changes the way I think about things.
Yeah. It does change, doesn't it?
Yeah. Once you know, it's on its way. Like you wish it was already here.
Yeah. Because I booked it back in the end of July, so it's been seemed like forever, and now it's the quickening.
Yeah, but you want to make sure you got all your stuff together, and what am I going to do? I have everything, and how's the weather going to be like, and what just magically appear on the beach, and whatever you're going to forget's already fucking forgotten.
Okay, see, I love the way you think, and that's exactly the way I think. But the girlfriend, Miss Thing, I even said to her this morning, I go, "You're not really excited about going to Hawaii, are you?" She goes, "Yeah, I am. I'm really excited." I go, "You're not Googling? You're not telling me this? You're not looking at the weather? You're not, I don't want to have any preconceived.
Oh, come on.
I've never been before, and I just want to do whatever,
That's like half the vacation. It started now already.
Isn't that it?
Every day you go, you know what else we have to do while we're together? You know what else look, I found this online. We got to go check this out while we're there.
Yeah, but she's like, it's because I'm going, and Kenny Wilson, my friend Kenny and his girlfriend, they're going. And so she's like, well, there's more than us, and I don't want to have preconceived plans and try to force people to do what I want to do, so I'm not looking at things. I go, well, you still... I remember the very first time I went years ago, I couldn't stop looking at pictures and videos and,
It's a magical land.
It's magical.
It's as because it's so far away and it's out there in the middle, and all the pictures of it you see, it's exotic and it's tropical, and it turns out I've been there once. Yeah, all that shit's true.
It's true, isn't it? Have you? So you have been?
Oh, yeah.
It's the most magical place in the world. And I when people tell me, well, I just go to Mexico. If I want to go to the beach, I just go to Mexico. It is not the same thing.
Different, definitely.
Not the same thing.
I've not been to Hawaii. I've been to Mexico, and I've seen video and pictures of Hawaii. Not the same. Not even the same.
Not close.
Yeah.
Hawaii has a smell to it. I mean, you always see these air fresheners.
Well, Mexico has a smell to it.
True, and so does Federal.
Greeley. If you're looking for a smell, go to Greeley.
If I was a truck driver, a tow truck driver, I would work Greeley, and I would charge people more just to hurry up and help them get out of the smell area.
You want to go? Come
I would work that zone, But no, don't you? Haven't been to Hawaii?
I think a lot of it also has to do with I just go to Mexico. Yeah, because you can. Hawaii is, you bought the tickets in July,
Hawaii.
And when you get on the plane, when we flew over there, there was some turbulence, and your brain goes, if we go down, it's not a question of an emergency landing in Ohio. We're going to be swimming.
It's a water landing.
We're going to be swimming. I want to make sure I picked my seat based on the thickness of the padding.
Right. Remember when they gave you that flotation talk?
Absolutely.
Just the first time you might ever need it. Because whenever they give it to me when I'm leaving L.A. to come to Denver, and they say your seat might be used as a flotation device, I go, which way are you flying? How are you getting us there? Because I
long trip going the other direction.
What, we got to land in somebody's bathtub?
There was a point where I was snorkeling with the sea turtle. There's a sea turtle, and I'm snorkeling, and off to my right, the whales were in. The right whales that come in.
Yeah.
And you don't.
You timed it just right.
You can't appreciate how tiny and insignificant you are. First of all, the turtle's fucking awesome.
Right. I saw a turtle when I went scuba diving.
But off to my right, I can catch. The whale is big enough that it's a mile away. But you can see the whale in the water, and you're like, I am tiny. I'm so Yeah, you know, yeah.
He crests and comes
it's-
down like,
It's not the same as the public pool here in Denver. You're not.
It
you
is
know,
not.
There's
There's some whales there
There's a
too.
woman from Aurora, but that's different.
There's
That's
a
different.
Don't talk about fat people.
I went scuba diving for the first time when I went to. You've been getting chastised for your,
I got
your
you.
talk.
Yeah, we'll get there.
So I went scuba diving the first time. Last time I went to Hawaii,
Right.
I've been several times because of work. Probably did you go for the same work?
It
Got
was
you there?
It was
Yeah.
a radio convention
Right.
where we played.
And so I'd never scuba dived before. I'd never taken a lesson before, and I had to go to this place at the hotel, the resort, and do like what they call the resort training, where you just watch the video and then he shows you how to do the mask
Right,
and breathe,
right.
and then you kind of do it all. You learn it all at one time. It's kind of
then they throw you off the
they
boat.
throw you off the side of the boat, and then you have to dive with the dive master. I mean, that's the way you have to. You're partnered because it's your first time.
And I think master there is actually an accredited master,
Right.
He didn't just give himself.
not
the-
unlike
No.
master magician.
So, how was it when you went?
Well, it was amazing, but of course, like I freaked out the first time.
I see. I think I'd
as I was going down, I just panic and anxiety hit me, and water started getting into my mask, and I started to panic. And he grabbed me. He just grabbed me and looked at. He goes like this.
Don't you free? I will drown your
and
ass.
he just goes, and we sat there like 30, 40 feet underwater.
Just
And
chill.
it went away. It
Yeah?
went away. So it's part of that was learning that yes, you will get that little bit of excitement and adrenaline rush when you first go underwater, but then you go, wait,
I'm okay.
I'm okay. I can breathe.
Are you breathing differently? Do you breathe the
No,
same?
you just breathe the same. That thing goes in your mouth, and you
See,
just.
'cause I know because I don't believe you. That's like no, it can't be true.
It
You're
can't
underwater,
be.
it
You're
can't be
underwater. It
true.
can't be true. And then when the time that the mask did, because of my hair, the mask doesn't always, if you get seal properly. So as it starts to come in, you learn that tilt it back, you blow air bubbles out of your mask, and it's gone. So once you learn the few little techniques, you're like, this is the greatest shit ever.
See,
I saw a turtle,
Yeah.
and we saw, and I got freaked out by a shark. We came around this edge of a little cove, underwater cove, and a shark came out from under a rock. And it wasn't a big shark, 4 or 5 feet. That's
enough.
That's big enough,
Yeah.
right? And I did one of those, "Wah!" ah! And again, I get the,
No.
no, don't
They
just
can
let
smell piss in the water.
just let,
Turns out.
just let him do his thing. But it was a sand shark,
Oh.
and so I found out later what they're like. They don't do anything. They don't,
That's what they always say until the first time.
till the first
They have,
bite.
yeah.
Yeah.
Up
Till you
until
lose-
now, they haven't done anything.
It's all fun and games till somebody loses a hand.
Yeah, I've snorkeled. I snorkeled in Mexico on the big reef, and I've always thought about scuba diving, but there's just something way different about that deep.
Have you
and
jumped
that-
out of an airplane?
No, and I won't.
Oh, do
That-
it, man. It's incredible.
No, I've had people even offer to pay for it.
Does anybody else care about this that you guys did?
What?
What?
I can't even put my damn hands down.
You have too much stuff in front of you?
Yes.
Well, we assumed that since it was in here when we got here,
It must have been yours because I didn't bring any of that shit in here, and then I don't think you did.
all my shit's over there.
So we thought, well, here, let's get it up, push it toward you.
This is Matt's.
Matt keeps toilet paper.
Yes.
Oh, you got to blow my nose.
Oh,
I'm pretty much asshole from head to toe. So whenever I need toilet paper, whatever
I think
want.
this is you.
that is mine, but that brought that in for that's banana bread. So
Oh,
I
I'll
brought
eat that.
I brought a knife in there for you guys too.
yeah, it's called.
There's 2 of them.
No, not
Knives.
those knives.
That's a real nice. No, he sent in a card, a T-radio card to cut the.
Right?
the
Yeah,
bread.
That's what my card's good for around here. Is cutting,
works out.
cutting
So
some bread.
you won't jump out of it?
Well, I'm just trying to. There's an equation. It kind of equates to me to be because you're completely in the wrong element. I mean, when you jump out of the plane, you've got when you go off the boat,
Yeah.
you got the fins and the snorkels, but that's all shit they added to you.
Yeah.
So it's not like if you take all that away, like I'll be okay.
Right. So if my air was to mess up,
Right.
I could slowly rise to the surface. I mean, that's it. You don't go quick, but
No.
you can make it to the surface. If I jump out of an airplane and the parachute ceases to work properly,
You're just done.
you're done, well, aren't you? I mean, it's not like, whoa, I will arch my back and come down like a feather. You know,
But you're still putting yourself at risk.
This doesn't work.
I'll be texting. I loved you. But I think it's a similar because you're trusting somebody else to put your air together the right way.
right?
And what if you don't? What if there's carbon monoxide in that?
In the air.
I want to trip.
You've watched too many old Hawaii 5.0s. They killed him. The diver never
they
came back
switched
up
his
because they switched his tank.
There's no
We
such
must
thing as
figure
too
it
many
out,
Hawaii
Magnum.
5.0s.
My thoughts are, when you're on a plane and you're flying over the ocean, your cushion is a flotation device.
Right.
If you're flying over the mountains and that plane's going down, why isn't it like one of those fucking bouncy castles? You pull the string and it blows up with air, and you hold on and you get some cushion in between you.
Well,
Like when people are going to commit suicide and they put the
Inflatable
big
ball.
air.
Well, I don't know why they haven't just made it a crash cage like a NASCAR at this point.
Foam.
You know what I mean? Like the whole section, even at the front
Yeah.
and the tail breaks
It just
off
breaks out into.
You just roll.
because it's a crash section. You know.
Yeah.
I've thought of that before. Like,
Or even like from Total Recall, the foam.
it just
And you
I
get
figure
foamed
and then
in.
the bubble just rolls.
I'm just going to
down.
grab a baby or a child for patting and hug it to me because they've been a pain in my ass for the whole flight. We're going down.
Remember when you were
You'll find
screaming?
me.
Yeah.
Wait.
I'll have that little baby crush thing on my. It'll be a mark on my chest when you find me, but I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And I will
Well, I'll just-
apologize.
Well, when she says your seat can be used as a flotation device, I was looking at hers. So can yours.
Yeah,
That thing is massive.
Absolutely.
That thing.
How'd you get it down the aisle?
Frenemies with mustaches. We're back to killing people with mustaches.
Mustaches kill people. Trevor's had some issues today.
Has he?
He's under Facebook assault.
Oh, I know.
It's a horrible
It's
work
off.
for him.
You made fun of fat stewardesses, and they got
She
all.
blocked me. It ended the battle.
She mocked him. She blocked him.
I've had that happen a
She
couple
never
times.
quite cocked
My
him.
friends got in a bunch of really good shots, and then she blocked me, and now it's.
I think she was. People always. Have you ever? It's that whole. Everybody's on your side, and then you realize nobody's on your
Nobody
side.
really at all.
cares.
Nobody
Sorry.
cares if
Yeah,
you
when-
succeed
you
or
know
not.
when she woke up and posted that this morning, she was like, "Watch this."
People will get him.
People, yeah.
People are going to get all over him because he's a bully. No, he's not a bully. He's just saying. I mean, people of Walmart.com. There's actually, and I looked it up as soon as she started
the
bitching
Wall
about
Martians.
it. The Walmartians. Walmartians. There's an actual website of pictures of people sleeping that other people have set up. So
Yeah.
it's not. I'm sorry.
I'm not
People-
the-
It's odd
Well-
when you sleep.
There was a website. I don't even know if it's still around. It was just ass crack. It was like you know how
Plumber's
Like
crack.
plumber's
crack.
Yeah.
Somebody has these people were uploading pictures of people at restaurants and hanging out the back of the chairs and that kind of bent over looking at something at Walmart. Ass crack. Ass crack.
That's the deal. You don't have to be polite anymore. There's the internet. It's all there for you.
Yeah, don't they understand that?
So, I'm back
Back
to
to
scuba
topic.
diving. I'm back to scuba
topic.
diving.
Yeah.
How do you?
Back to topic.
So you just a day,
Uh-huh.
and they didn't even like put you in a pool or anything. They
No.
just take you right out and you're
No.
gone. You're onto it.
Right, and it was 2 dives, two 30-minute dives, and it was great. And if I come back and I do it with the same dive company, because now I have half of it, if I do it again, I can actually get my certification as a
As
diver.
a scuba diver, and
Yeah.
you can go anywhere and do it at any point.
So then I can do it without the guy grabbing me and
right?
yeah, because that's the same thing with the skydiving. You got to do that the tandem jump.
Right.
Again, you're putting yourself in somebody else's.
Well, that guy's just going to land on me.
Yeah, I'm afraid.
I've
If
never
we won't open. We'll die together, and they'll find me with some guy strapped to my butt. That's what really.
I
frightens
think
me more.
there's always that part where when you finally go to heaven, and they say, "What happened? I jumped out of an airplane." Oh, and so you hit the ground and you died. Yeah, and then the airplane crashed. No, the airplane went back and landed. Okay, we can't let you in.
can't
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
no.
You're way too dumb.
Here, go sit in the waiting area over there.
Yeah, that's at a certain point when you're in the water, you see the shark and you panic because you realize you just delivered lunch.
Right, but I wasn't. Yeah, Domino's. Oh, yeah. But I wasn't really afraid for my life underwater, which I would be jumping out of
Okay.
a plane. And I don't understand. Are you one of those adrenaline people?
Yeah.
Because I don't. I don't have that gene, that adrenaline. I'm gonna get
I
on
don't-
I'm gonna ride my bicycle downhill as fast
Yes.
as I can.
I've never done it. I've never jumped out of a plane. I probably never will jump out of a plane. The only thing I've done adrenaline wise is in New Zealand. You can jump off. It's like the Space Needle in Seattle. It's a base jump. There's a static line that you jump off of, and I did do that. And there
like a zip line type.
There is it's a static. It's like a practice parachute line. Where you jump off when you're strapped to the thing, and they control the speed of your fall. And I did do that, and that's the only thing I've really faced is and. I guess it wouldn't be exactly the same doing a scuba diving, but just that point where you realize the building is fine and I'm going to jump off it anyway.
Yes.
And I did that.
Right.
But I'm not. I'm with you. I'm not.
I won't bungee jump. I've had people ask me about that bungee jump because you can do it in a couple places in Vegas. You know, off the, like the stratosphere.
You used to be able to do it right here at what's that place in Golden, the Heritage Square.
You could bungee jump.
Yeah, at Heritage Square. Let's go.
Screw that! I'm not jumping off of any because I've seen the videos where they're like, "Oh, the rubber band snapped! Oh!"
They didn't guess.
You know, they only know it breaks when it breaks. You know what I mean? It's not one of those. Well, I guess we should have checked that yesterday.
So you do have a place where you draw the line because scuba diving for me, there's a certain adrenaline rush to that.
Yes,
definitely.
But I'm semi in control of that.
Okay.
Unless I
can understand that.
You know, a giant angry mermaid swims up and eats me. You know what I mean? I don't know what the
giant angry.
Now, would you do the indoor skydiving thing?
No. Oh, like you mean over here when you just let the air push you around?
Pushes you up.
Oh yeah, I'd probably do that.
I did do that.
How was that?
That was fun.
That looks fun.
That was really fun. But at the time, I had about 60 pounds more on me, all in my gut, and it turns my center of gravity's fucked.
Right.
The slightest turn.
It was all very strange.
That's like the carnival centrifugal. Remember the centrifugal rooms? I don't know if they still have them. They spin, the floor drops out, and you're up against the wall, and somebody throws up, and it spins around with you. There was always that one fat person that just started sliding sliding down the wall. And I'd always worry because like if you're coming down and the floor has to come back up,
does it
gonna grab your feet off?
Yeah.
What is it called? The mine shaft? Is that the one that was at Illich's?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. I never did enough crack to go to Illich's.
I seen pictures of like people standing straight up.
Yeah, because it's right. You're up against the wall. You're like, oh
never,
my God, I'm Honey Boo Boo, and I'm sliding down the wall.
Okay, let's go to carnival rides then. Do you do that kind of thing? Are you on the Zipper and the Rambler and the whatever that is?
No, and only because
you've seen who puts them up.
Well, that too, but I'm motion sickness. I can't do spinning easily at all. Motion sickness. So I can't, but I would love to be able to.
You don't get seasick going out in a boat?
As long as I'm looking forward and there's a certain just up and down motion.
You can feel the rhythm?
If I get the rhythm, I'm all right. But it's that weird, okay, we're rocking,
wobble.
now we're going. Now we're back, now we're up.
I can't do spinny ever.
Even when I did a cruise, when I worked a cruise line, I had to wear the patch because they're like, oh, you don't feel a thing on a cruise.
So do you get seasick then too?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. I know when I was out with Creedence, the lead singer was he had to ride in the front seat all the time, or he got car sick.
Oh, I get car sick.
Couldn't do a limousine at all.
We used to have.
They used to hate the limousine. They'd always go. There's only 2 good seats in the limousine at the back, facing forward. Like, all right then.
We used to have a minivan.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, we'd go somewhere as a group of adults.
And so you didn't get the front seat.
And so, like, one of my wife's friends would sit in the front seat next to her, and I would sit in the back with the guys, and probably about a mile down the road coming to Denver or something, we gotta pull over. Yeah. I can't do the back seat of even a minivan.
Wow.
And it's usually because I am somewhat of a phone junkie.
So you're focusing on that, and there's no movement over here?
Or like the turn. Like I'll just glance up.
It's the peripheral stuff that.
Yeah,
you know what?
I'll be texting here, and I'll start to look up right as the turn goes, and
could be gluten.
Could be my intolerance for gluten intolerance. And yes,
What is the one adrenaline thing that you haven't done that you think you might want to do?
I think I'm caught up at this point.
Is it pretty much?
I think I'm doing okay.
I want to do whitewater kayaking.
Nope.
I was raised by a doctor. And so whenever something came up, my dad always had worst case scenario. Well, we're going to get a motorcycle. No, we're not, because I'll take you with me to the emergency room. I'll show you guys how your legs ripped off because you ride them. Okay, great. So I don't have...
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting a mini bike. You will not. Yeah. I had to cut off a guy's hand.
Right, exactly. There's a guy who got jammed. Whatever the hell's going on, my dad always had worst case scenario of and so my brain goes that way automatically.
Yeah, I kind of see that too.
That's, I mean,
Well, it's one of the. I'm not any type of pain. Not really into because it's one of the reasons that I stopped Little League baseball.
pain.
No, I used to love Little League baseball. I was a pitcher. I did well. I actually liked baseball. But one day I got hit with a stray ball. It got hit in the head. It cracked the helmet that I had on, and I went, "That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I never played.
I'm good with this.
Never played again. Never this can happen. Not doing it.
Not happening.
Not doing it.
See, I do a lot of mountain biking, mostly downhill. The uphill is not really that exciting. There's no adrenaline there. There's mostly throw up. But downhill, there's nothing better than going to like Keystone and throwing your bike on the ski lift, and then just flat out.
And getting it back off the ski lift when it comes back down.
Yeah.
And you ask your bike, how the fuck is that?
Did you like it?
No, I love
I have,
that.
because as you're saying that, and I get that part. I guess, again, depending on how safe it is, I would be all right in a steel cage where, I'm suspended in the middle and isn't as fun. Because it's visceral to me to know. Because I can imagine, now we're going down the hill, now it's bumpy, now my arms are hurting a little bit, now my hand slips off and I smash my face on my handlebars, and then I flip over and I break my leg, and then it turns out it wasn't that much fun.
It wasn't that much fun, but you know what? I can't wait till I heal and do it again.
You guys have like
common sense?
plaguing thought syndrome or something.
What we're about is we're going to be what you call survivors.
Right. That's the perfect word. Because what is the concept of fun in going downhill?
It's the adrenaline rush.
Yeah,
it's so
but
much
it's
fun.
not. It's not the fear that you have at any moment. I'm going to fall and sandpaper my nose off on the street.
That's
No.
okay. No, not on the street. On
On rocks.
Okay,
And
at
rocks
any
and
moment,
sticks.
I'm going to hit a rock, fly in
Tree.
the air, and crack my skull open, and ants will eat my brain. I can't wait to do this again.
Should you fly off your bike, the shit in your pants can be used as a cushion.
That's right. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Remasculate on TRadioV.com.
Tukis will make you feel good about cleaning. Tukis are reusable dishcloths that are hand-woven with eco-friendly 100% organic cotton. Tukis, handcrafted in India, will make a difference in your home, your life, and the lives of the Indian women who weave them with dignity and pride. Working to stand on their own 2 feet, Tukis are their labor of love. Go green with the best dishcloths available. That's Tukis. Order a 3-pack for less than $10 exclusively online at www.tukis.com. That's TOOCK.
Much.
So.
All right, so back to.
Wait, and by the way, before we go any further, will you bring us back some of this Mahalo water we keep hearing about?
Well, actually, I thought about that. We'll probably
2,000 years.
We'll probably
he's just going to dive. You're going to be diving anyway.
Oh, you might as well get it while you're down there.
Right. I'll go down 2,000 feet to the 2,000-year-old water, and I'll get some. I could probably get there and get back with it. Probably quicker than they've delivered it to us, right? I'm waiting on Mahalo water. I'm waiting on my Tukis.
Audi from San Francisco?
And I'm...
you came after we took the Audi from San Francisco commercial.
But I do want... I want the headphones that they're now advertising on the video feed.
No, that was on live stream.
Oh, okay. So that's gone now, right?
Gone.
Well, crap.
What the good shit's gone.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It was the
McDonald's and the Sony X.
The Sony headphones.
The Simon Cowell Sony X headphones.
They looked really nice. Much better than the Dr. Dre Beats. Please. Please. Who are the morons buying this? Seriously.
Everybody has
I know.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
It's a $300 pair of headphones.
And please tell me how Dr. Dre, a rapper, can tell he is not an engineer. He's not a sound engineer.
Not an actual doctor.
He's not an actual doctor. You know what I mean? It's how did he go? These are the perfect headphones right here. These
work.
These work. I can hear out of them. Give me $300.
They make you hear beats in different ways, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Seriously?
You start walking like a gangster. That's what they want.
You get your pimp limp on.
Pimp limp.
I did get a picture of a guy asleep with his Beats by Dre the other morning on the bus.
It's one of those things that always annoys me just because somebody jumps on the fad. You know what I mean? It's like you don't what?
Well, they're no more. I mean, I've listened to all of the Beats by Dre's and all of the Bose and
they're headphones.
Yeah. We've got these Able Planets that did fine until they didn't come through as far as their customer service, but
and it really just depends on what you want. As far
as it's person to person.
Do you like bass? This. Do you like a high end? Because I prefer a high end over bass.
It depends on how your hearing is and everything. I mean, it is definitely person to person. And then, let me tell you, on a subjective sort of thing. Let me tell you how you should feel.
Okay.
You're gonna love. Yeah, that's it. You're gonna love this. No,
I may not.
How about you just let me figure it out for myself?
Right. And how about if I don't love
them?
them, you only charge me half price?
Or you give me my money back.
Yeah, these are $300. If I only like them a little,
do I get a discount?
I'll keep them
for $300. If I'm not strapping a vagina to either ear, I don't really give a shit what's coming through them.
That's what it feels like, though. The leather that they use,
Corinthian.
It's so soft. It feels like
feels like it's actually wet.
They're padding around the speakers made from vagina skin.
Right.
It's vagina skin.
It's like when you hold your girlfriend up to your ear, you hear the sound of bitching.
Same thing with these headphones.
Well, it starts.
How much did you pay for those headphones?
Same.
Did you ask me if you could buy those? I thought we were
They're supposed to be noise canceling.
Oh,
I can still hear her.
I just put them on and don't have any music just so I don't have to hear the bitching.
Well, that's what I have the Able Planet sound can, and I love them because when I get on a flight, I hit the
just click the thing,
and I don't even plug them into the stuff. I just do the
tune out,
and it goes. I've got to give them credit. They really have done well with that noise canceling because you can hear the switch.
Yeah. Well, maybe you should call them and ask them to come and be customer service for the headphones.
Because I actually like them.
Yeah.
I've never. I think mine are like $9 JVC. They just stick in your ear and you go. Because the $300 ones, I'm going to sit on them. I'm going to run over them. I'm going to leave them somewhere. That's at $20 or less. You don't really worry about what
like
the hell
sunglasses.
happens. Sunglasses, right. Yeah, all that kind of shit.
I always do cheap sunglasses.
Yeah.
The headphones that I wore for most of my radio career. The headphones that I wore corporate career. The headphones that I wore during award-winning radio shows. You know how much they cost me? $1.
eBay?
$1. No.
Oh.
Big Lots.
Big Lots.
Yeah, Big Lots. I bought their $1. They're like the Sony ripoffs. They're just like the slide. They're slotty, and I put them because I hang them. I don't like stuff over my head mostly because I would just hang these little in your ear. And $1, and if they broke, I had a
one
stack
more
of 10,
dollar,
and they were $1. And my old partner Jonathan goes, I don't know why you wear those. You can't hear anything. I go, What'd you say? I think I heard you.
We're talking.
We're talking.
Turns out.
I'm not producing a record. I only have to hear your voice.
And the other side of
And
that
it's gone immediately after.
It turns out that the human ear, which is what we're all equipped with,
Yeah.
at a certain point you've outstripped the capability to hear things.
Yeah.
There's just you just go, you know what?
Did you hear
louder?
that? Did you
just
hear
make
that?
it louder then. I don't know.
Make it louder. I heard that.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? Yeah, I heard that. I
And
heard
we're
that.
in.
I'm gonna get out of the room now. It's all good.
Well, it's like a mic check. I mean, some guys, okay, I need a mic. Mic. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Here, we turn it on. We push the buttons up a little bit and we go, can you hear me? Yep. Can you hear me? Yep.
I just think when it comes to sound, because I know the people that are like that, the sound guys.
Take a little 8K out of my left ear.
Exactly. You know those guys?
Stick it in your ass.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah.
Kevin, my friend, Kevin.
Yeah.
Used to do sound for Sammy Hagar.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that does the, do this, take that down. He may be one of them too, but Joel, our producer. But only thing I care about is it doesn't sound mushy. That is my only description when it comes to, if it sounds a little too much like this,
Right.
or it doesn't sound like if you're playing a venue and it doesn't sound like a CD.
Yeah.
That's all I care about. I don't need. I need more of this. I need less of that.
Can you go 0.4 dBs up in the mids? No. And I'm like, what the fuck?
I just don't want to hear. I don't want to hear a band that sounds like this.
And I trust that the guy behind the soundboard can fix that shit. That's the other part.
That's all. That's all.
That's
I care
the thing.
about.
Get us close in a sound check, and then when we start going, trust the sound guy that he's going to adjust the levels for the room and the crowd as it changes, and he's going to make it sound the best that he can hear.
Well, then you don't want to know all that shit because then it'll just ruin what you're doing too. It's similar to like you go tasting wine with somebody. Just smell them like the oaky, mapley, chocolatey pepper. I'm like,
now chew it.
Tastes like wine. I like it. I like wine. I drink for effect. I'm okay with that.
Right.
Yeah.
Makes me feel
Screw
good.
top doesn't bother me.
I
drink for effect. That's my new T-shirt right there. I drink for effect.
I think you have to, but either you like it or you don't. And if you break it down as to why you like it and what happens and blah, 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 blah. What's the study of it that makes it
I don't know
interesting,
why
Matt?
I like it.
No, it doesn't.
I drank it. It tasted good.
I liked it.
Well,
I like it.
They have done blind taste tests where cheap-ass wine wins.
Yeah.
They've done that, like the whole we've replaced it with Folgers Crystals. They've done that with cheap wine, and people are like, oh, this is really good. Yeah, it was made 2 weeks ago.
Right.
And it came out of a box.
Vodka douchebags. They've proven a lot of those people just to be, you can't tell the difference.
We've talked about
The
that
vodka
before.
people.
Where you go on a date with that girl for the first time, and they only want Grey Goose.
You don't have Grey Goose?
Yeah,
Kettle One. I guess I'll have
I can
Kettle
only
One.
drink Kettle One. That's the only thing that doesn't upset my stomach.
How about I give you a shot of Smirnoff and punch you in the ear, and it'll be just fine.
Well, and that's it. I mean, you get them to the
Do
table.
you feel dizzy?
You should.
It's working.
You get them to the table, and then you just volunteer. I'll go get you another drink, and you get fucking house vodka. They never know the difference because they're jack-offs.
Speaking of liquor, did you see? I read this yesterday. Jack Daniels is breaking its ancient tradition. It's making clear whiskey.
Why?
They're gonna do They're doing clear Jack Daniels. Just for something different, marketing. They're always trying to find something to sell it.
Did they not understand that Pepsi won? And Pepsi Clear was not
good.
Yeah.
Didn't do it.
Just do what you're
But
supposed to do.
maybe people have this conception that
Or the people that drink for a fact will drink it anyway.
Yeah,
so.
but the people that I can't drink dark liquors. That's just that right
All
off the
right.
bat. I can't drink.
Well, here it is in clear.
Dark liquors.
It'd be weird. I think if you've had enough whiskey, you associate that burn and happiness with a little bit of the brown color.
Yeah, but if you do a Jack and Coke, your brown is back.
Right. Okay.
I do like my Jack Daniels to look like iced tea, though.
So, yeah. So there's something to the color. There's definitely-
Psychosomatically, it would probably affect.
But my guess is that marketing-wise, they're competing with everybody who's flavoring booze and all that other shit.
all the,
You're not-
all
you
the
need-
clear stuff.
You need more
all
fronts on it.
I would be interested to do a taste test where you don't tell them it's clear Jack Daniels. You pour a clear Jack Daniels and a regular Jack Daniels, and you say, "Taste these and tell me."
People will like the one that's the brown one better
Yeah.
because they can see it.
psychologically.
I used to go. Here's wherever you go in the world, no matter what language the bartender speaks, you can always order a Crown and Coke. Just me order a Crown and Coke. Yeah, Crown and Coke, and I quit ordering Jack and Cokes.
Well, that's a bartender at the Comedy Works years ago told me that one of the things is the bartender will cut you off and is supposed to cut you off if you can't say your order.
Right.
you know,
If
you have
can't
to be
say
able
your
to
drink,
pronounce.
right.
Oh wow.
You can't pronounce your drink. You can't just go blah, blah, blah. You know, I knew what you were drinking.
Right.
Here's another one.
Here's some more.
Yeah, you have to be able to say, you know, Jack and Coke. And so I thought the drinks that you should learn if you're going to be an alcoholic were 7 and 7.
Because it's an easy one. You can slur right
you
into
can
that
slur
one.
that all 7 7 7 7 7.
7.
You could be passed out and they pull you up by the hair. 7 7. You know, that would be, and that's pretty much whiskey and Coke. So that's
Yeah,
a good one.
right.
You can do
and
that.
Bud.
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 Because it
Just
be-
say Bud.
However,
You could burp.
Bud.
Bud.
There's all,
I'm
but
not-
now I'm loving this because you don't
Crown
even
and
have
Coke,
Crown.
Coke, give me
What do you
Coke.
want?
Crown and Coke.
You didn't say it though.
I'm not sure that's an
Cheryl
actual
Ledoux?
law.
Do you know Cheryl Ledoux? She's in the chat. She said moonshine in a mason jar.
Oh, well, that's clear.
That's clear.
That's
yeah.
clear. Maybe Jack Daniels is going to lean toward that kind of one.
Right.
We're more hicky because we're like moonshine.
We like moonshine.
We like our moonshine.
Well, I've
round
always
here.
heard, and I believe it.
But doesn't the color come from the oak cask? And don't they char
They
the
do char.
cask and then they put the thing and that's where the brown, or do they just add brown food coloring later?
Hold on.
And then-
I
and then
really don't.
In the final ancient step, we put brown food coloring in it.
I really don't know.
I don't either. I know because I was just thinking about because I mean moonshine's clear, but it's not aged in anything. It just comes out of that copper
And people love that.
copper tube and it comes down. So I don't know.
What about this? I can't even.
The color comes from oak barrels, and the intensity of the color in the whiskey is dependent on the prior
There you
usage
go.
of the barrels.
That makes me a whiskey douchebag that I know that.
Whiskey douchebag, take my mind.
Take my wife,
Oh,
please.
please.
Whiskey douchebag, take my whatever.
No, most people don't. I don't think they even care. You know, when it comes to alcohol, like you said, drink for effect.
Right.
Because you'll go to a party. What you know? Can I have a? No, I got the. Okay.
Okay.
But we're
I think it's all psychosomatic or
Psychotic?
psychotic.
Psychosomatic.
But I mean,
That's her.
Just when you go and think that's your drink, that's my drink. Because you will drink anything
yeah.
at a party.
If you're gonna drink and they don't have what you want, you don't go. I'll just go without.
yeah,
Let's go without. You know, you don't go to the restaurant. I want a steak. We don't have any steak. Then I'm not eating. Everybody else can have some dinner. I'll just sit. It's good.
I'll just
it's
stay.
fine. It's fine.
We all know I owned a bar for a long time. And I cannot confirm nor deny the fact that if we ran out of Jack Daniels and someone ordered a drink that they didn't get benchmark number 7, I could have gotten in trouble with the Jack Daniels people, but
Did your bar, as they call it, marry the whiskey?
no, you can't do that.
They used
That's
to do the.
that's illegal.
That's very illegal.
I heard it was, but
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah,
Obviously,
that's
it's
just
been
one of
done. I
those
wouldn't know
things,
the
yeah.
term.
Things happen.
Things happen.
I do know the bar across the street would buy the cheap, like benchmark number 7, and fill up the Jack Daniels bottles. Nobody ever said anything. Nobody ever noticed. But I know that because the guy that owned the bar across the street was an acquaintance
so
of
that's
mine.
the genius of marketing, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the liquor store and you look at all the other,
Why do girls have different names then?
they're all the same.
Can't you just all be
Hey.
you?
Pussy.
Oh, look, we lost another one. Oh,
What's your name?
we lost.
Kitty. They're all named Kitty because some of them just won't say
Hey,
pussy.
I always went for toots.
Toots.
Toots. Toots is
Doll.
across
Yeah.
the board.
Hey, doll.
Babe.
Doll,
Doll.
babe. We're like Mad Men. That's what we were talking about
Yeah.
yesterday.
Oh.
I loved when I watched Mad Men that all the guys were like, "Hey,
Man
babe,
talk.
get over here. Hey, Toots, go get me fix me a highball."
Slap her on the ass until it's time for man talk.
Yeah. One of my favorite episodes of Mad Men. I used to watch it religiously, then I kind of got off because I DVR'd, and then once you start DVRs, then you don't always catch up. So then I'm a season behind. Then I went, fuck it, I'm not watching it anymore.
Delete them all.
So yeah, but one of my favorite ones when they were trying to come up with an ad campaign, and they said maybe we should ask the girls in the secretarial pool, and they were like, what? What?
They don't know anything. They're girls.
Yeah, that was the
They
whole
don't know
like.
anything.
We give them their opinion.
Yeah, that was this whole thing about well, all right, finally, all right, bring one in, ask her what she thinks of this lipstick. That was just.
Man, I watched. I talked about it on Unfiltered and Unaffected. Ethel is on HBO now. It's a documentary about Ethel Kennedy, and that's a pretty amazing woman. 11 kids, first of all.
And the fact that she got anybody to sleep with her name was Ethel.
11 times.
11 kids, and he, and then raised them all by herself. And it talks about all the stuff that she's done. Very strong woman at a time when women weren't. It was right in that Mad Men era.
Yeah.
Of that kind of a thing where she was,
But you could still be. This is one thing I think women have screwed up recently, is that you being strong doesn't mean you have to be an ass feminist.
Right, right.
Because that woman was strong in that period.
Right.
My mother, the same way, was educated, college, nurse, decided when you got married, time to have kids. That's now my job. That is my job.
That's my occupation.
Is my
I
occupation.
take care of the household.
And I have my education if I decide to, if my husband dies.
Or the kids grow
up and I have something to do. But I think this whole thing of that's much more, it annoys the shit out of me when I read about somebody, like a celebrity that pops out a baby, and then you read in the magazine, I can't wait to get back to work. Then why the fuck did you have a kid?
Right.
Why did you...
The life changes. Follow the life changes.
Follow the life change. Or it drives me nuts when I see people like at concerts with a baby in a bag. Got the little thing in a concert. Your life is supposed to change. That baby's ears are we're talking about ears?
Oh, yeah.
They're very sensitive.
Right.
Your ears are going to ring after a concert. You don't think you're destroying this little kid's hearing because you want to go see fish?
Right.
You know?
If you should just probably go ahead and shoot yourself if you're on your way to a fish concert.
I think people today just don't realize that there are supposed to be life-changing events.
Right. You get married. It changes how you go out.
Yes.
I'm not out till 3 in the
You know what?
morning
That's
with
an
my
interesting
buddies.
concept beyond just the female angle of it, but any life-changing event, male, female, gender, there's a point where you go, well, guess what we're not doing? We're not going to go get hammered in the bar again tonight. We're not going to go,
That's what I did. I mean, that's seriously where I quit drinking when my son was born. I woke up in a dumpster epiphany, and then I went, you know what? I can't do this anymore. I have a kid. I have to be responsible.
Well, I turned 41 on the road with Creedence and realized that they were turning 60. And I was their tour manager, and at a certain point, they're going to stop touring. That's you start to go, you see the life change coming at you, and you go, I do have to make some adjustments.
I should probably make some plans.
Yeah, versus, because, initially when you're a kid, you have no idea that you're hurtling along, clueless and running through.
Right. Basically, you're riding downhill on a bicycle through life, waiting to fall. That's what you're doing.
That's this guy.
Then you wake up and you go, nope. No more bike riding like that. That's going to be something.
So is it wrong, or is it? I get that you're a male chauvinist, you're a dinosaur attitude, but is that wrong to think? I mean, look how long we survived as a country, a nation, as people, civilization. When people looked at it this way, they are life changing.
But I think
my job is to raise the absolute best child available. I'm not going to let a therapist at school. Like I didn't ever have a therapist at school.
No.
If somebody died, we'll have therapists all week long.
Yep.
My mom was my fucking therapist.
At the same time, though, I think that it has to transcend gender, though. There's life-changing events, and the woman has to make that choice to now raise a child.
Well, a guy can stay home, too. A guy can stay home, too.
That's not what I'm saying at all. I mean, it could happen. But what I'm saying is, as men, we have to make the same kind of life-changing... when a life-changing event happens, we have to make similar changes. I'm going to get married. All right, I'm not going to be out like before. You still after work, you went out and you had drinks with the fellas. Every night of the week. Came home
But there's so many
late.
country songs now that are about like, can't go out with you. I'm going home to her.
Right.
Going home to her.
Well,
I'm in love and I'm going home to her.
But at the same, I mean, it doesn't mean you have to completely change. You can never go out. But at the same time, you've made a life choice. You have to then make some changes.
I was always told and raised the way that if married people hang out with married people.
Right.
Once you get married,
you don't hang out with
your single friends, or because they will lead you down. Oh, come on! I'm not gonna. We won't tell.
You hang around at the dump. Eventually, you smell like trash.
Right. The girls that go out on their girl nights with their single friends.
Yeah.
They're watching all the girls get hit on and have fun, and they're like, "What? I guess
how come I never get hit on anymore? Maybe I'm just not attractive
anymore. I guess I got dumpy. It's all
his fault. Have you gone the other direction? Because there's been nights. I mean, I was an animal about going out. I mean, I was out 4 or 5 nights a week. And now I've hit the point where I'm going to be okay on the couch. In fact, I got to go do a show tonight. What do I really want to do tonight?
Get on the couch.
I want to sit on the couch.
Oh, I was at last night. That was me last night because the girlfriend has taken an extra job, part-time job at the Grizzly Rock. She's now the head waitress at the Grizzly Rock, and she's like, "You're coming down, right?" "Yeah, I'll come down."
Right.
And then I thought maybe I might not. And then she texts me and goes, "I forgot my purse. I don't want to drive home without my driver's license.
need to come
Bring
down."
it when you come." I'm like,
Right.
oh, crap. You know.
Well,
I really was like, I would rather just lay here on the couch than go out. But then when I got out, I had a great.
Yeah, once you're out.
I had a great
once you
time
get
last
over that
night.
hump.
That band, the hairball, kicked ass.
We
and
talked about all meeting there.
Yeah, you didn't show up.
And the thing
Ken
is,
didn't show up. Scotty Brown texts me and goes, "I'm tired."
and that we stayed here. Joel and I stayed here and got the switch over done to Ustream. And my thoughts were that when we started talking in the morning, my thoughts were, well, I got shows until 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock's perfect. I'll
Head on
will
out
come
right
down
after
here.
the
We'll
show.
come right. Instead, we got done about 5:15. Joel said, "Hey, I'll give you a ride home." So we took a ride home, and I got to the house and I texted Chris and I said, "Why don't you get some candy and we'll pass out candy to the kids?" Because my ass
Has already
made it to the couch
So-
and that was it.
At first, you're riding the bike down the hill through life, and then there comes that little hill. You got to go up a little bit before you can ride down the
Down
hill
again?
some more.
Uh-huh.
And you go, "Nah, I'm gonna rest
No,
right
I'm
here.
gonna rest.
I'll be right here."
Take a
Yeah.
break.
Yeah. That's called taking a break on the show too. We've come up that little hill. We start to go. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back with more Remasculate right after this.
TRadioV.com.
Tukis will make you feel good about cleaning. Tukis are reusable.
Like that. You can eat it, but you'll probably still go to bed hungry. It's Remasculate with Steve Mudflap, McGrew, and Trevor on TRadioV.com.
So eat your vegetables and listen to it.
Sometimes that's like my sex life.
Yeah, that commercial's a lot like eating with your parents too. You're having the same thing again tonight. We're having the same thing again tonight. Didn't we have
Sit
this?
down.
We're having it
I
again
don't
tonight.
care. You didn't finish it.
Did you see that pot of soup we made? We're eating it till it's gone.
My mom cooked like that. She had that
Stews?
big giant,
Yeah, the army pot?
red cast big thing, and she made stews, and she made dirty rice, and she made just all the stuff was a pot, and we just ate out of the pot for
Until
a few
it was
days.
gone, yeah. And you had it for lunch too in the summer.
This is really funny. I was just this morning. There's some stuff I want to get. We'll get to.
I'm
in a
watching. I'm
second.
listening.
there was
My mom didn't cook in a pot.
your mom didn't cook
My
in a
mom-
pot?
No, we ate SpaghettiOs.
Oh, well, this
Ridiculous.
this is perfect
All right,
for
go
down the
ahead.
track that I ran across a website this morning. It was a retro website, and it's got all these retro ads from the 40s and the 50s and 60s, and all the dishes that they were advertising were the stuff that I remember, but they're not really recipes. They were full-page ads for like Spam and yam. And then they have a whole recipe like cut the Spam in half, put a yam in the center. It was all these women's magazines recipes that I remember my mom making these crap.
Oh, yeah.
It's hot dogs and they got it on a platter with radishes around it. Like this was a recipe.
Good stuff. Because that's also what you could buy at the store back then. There wasn't the variety of food that's available now. You went in, you went, there's hot dogs, and you're back to eating out of the pot.
Yeah.
Tonight we're doing hot dogs.
Hot dogs
but they're
over
different.
rice. Over rice. Oh.
I remember Swanky Frankie's was what Swanky Frankie's. Well, what's a Swanky Frankie? Oh, you split the hot dog and you put some cheese in it,
Right.
and then you wrap it in bacon, and then you put it under the broiler.
Hey, one of the recipes this morning, it was called beanie blankets. And I cracked up because it was a hot dog bun, Heinz baked beans. You take the bun, you put baked beans in the bun, and then you put Miracle Whip on top of the beans. You wrapped it in bacon, and you put it in the broiler.
How?
And it looked beautiful in the picture on the full-page ad. That was an ad to make beanie
That's
blankets.
Unbelievable.
Sounds
That's
terrible.
yeah. That's how are we fatter now than we were then? That's
Because
what
we got out and played.
Right.
Because the kids went outside. You ate your hot dog, and your mother would, get out of my hair!
And I don't want to go back to just blindly following whatever you're told, but we were talking in the break about ritual, and ritual had a purpose. It always has a purpose. That's if you're a church, if you go to church, that's part of the ritual of your life that keeps a rhythm to what's happening,
And
that's where you get your information and you
the
understand how that
jungle
works.
tribes that do the ritual of manhood or the
Right.
ritual of marriage or
It prepares you for the life that you're going to have, including the ritual of dating. In terms of meeting somebody and being in a relationship and moving on, we're talking about life changes.
That ritual, I think, is completely gone. The ritual of that's why one of the reasons I think marriages don't last the way they should is because the ritual of dating is gone. You just hook up with somebody now because, hey, we both like to mountain bike.
Right?
You know what I mean? Remember when you were a kid, you actually had to date. You had to the courting ritual.
Then you understood what
Your mom and dad always taught you ask these questions. Always ask about this. How would you raise the child? What religion do you want, kid? There was a lot of. It was a dating. It was.
Get out of the car and you go knock on the door
Door.
and you ask her mother if she's ready to come if she's
come
available.
down.
And she knows not to go to the door and answer the door with you there. Mom is going to answer the door.
Oh, that's just so old.
And then you're going to come down.
That
here,
attitude is old.
Walk her to the door, which we always
Sure.
thought was I'll make sure she gets in the house safely
Mm-hmm.
so that whoever's inside can rape her and kill her. But nobody in the yard's going to fuck her up
No,
because you're with
once
her.
I get to the door. Well, see, I was always told and did and still do mostly is I don't drive away until
the
Right.
door
till
closes.
the door closes.
Yeah.
Or like if I let my girlfriend out, I don't drive away till she drives away. Like
Right.
that way I don't
That-
drive off and a guy
isn't that
pops
just
up in the
rules?
back
That's
seat.
just man code.
That's man code.
that's rules,
And I don't think a
yeah.
lot, but
But
I
that's
don't
part of-
think a lot of.
It's all part of ritual that you're taught by your parents. It's passed down. I think parenting's changed to the point where a lot of that stuff doesn't come down.
I think basically we've become like Lord of the Rings as far Lord of the Flies. I mean, as far as kids basically raise themselves. It's the same island. They
Right.
come up with their own rules, and the parents go, "Okay, whatever."
We were
I
talking.
don't eat that. I don't play that. I don't. Okay, whatever.
We were talking a little bit about that this morning. I ride the bus down here, and there's a kid that rides the same number 12 bus as me every morning. And I know where his stop is, and you can see, yes, maybe I'm prejudging, maybe I don't know everything that really goes on in his life, but you can kind of tell by the way he dresses. He's always a little disheveled. His stuff's not quite put together, and he sleeps the entire way down. So he's probably one of those, he has a single parent probably.
Stays up as late as he wants to.
And he's sleeping on the bus. And this morning, he was out on the bus, and we got to his stop. And there's several of us that ride that bus at the same time, and we know when people get on and off.
You're like, hey, dude, you're stopped.
And finally, they pulled up to the stop, and the bus driver was kind of looking, and I could tell that he knew that was that kid's stop, and I knew. Finally, I stood up, and I had my headphones on, so I know I was loud talking, and I was like, hey, Somebody wake that kid up. That's his stop. But it's like that. I mean,
Yeah.
the parents aren't connected. Where is he going to learn how to put together a good relationship?
Right, because he's raised a certain way. The circle goes round and
Right.
round. You know, that whole thing now of them wanting to change school. The school starts later. They want to start later
Right.
because kids are tired. Maybe a parent should have your kid go to bed.
Right, maybe
Go to fucking bed. I remember as a kid,
Well, but-
go put your pajamas on and get ready for bed. I don't even care if you go to sleep. Go
Get
in your
in
room.
bed.
Go in.
No TV.
No TV. Go in your room.
If you want to
If
lay
you wanna
there and
lay
read a book, yeah.
that's fine. I mean, you have to actually be a parent, and they don't do it anymore.
Well, did we just go down the same path that you went down when you watched Mad Men? That you watch, and then suddenly fall behind a little bit and finally just go,
fuck it. They can raise themselves.
Raise themselves, go, get out.
Yeah.
I listened to, they revamped one of the schools here in Denver, and I can't remember the name of the school, but it goes into, there's a term for it where like it goes into rehab. The scores are so low that the government says we're gonna cut off funding unless you do this, and they get rid of all the teachers and they change everything and they bring all these kids back. And they were talking to the new teacher, and the new teacher was saying things like, she'd go, "We've learned to respect the children's feelings, and we have to treat them with respect, so they'll treat us." And I was thinking, I remember being told, "Sit down and shut up."
Yeah, and
You know?
I agree.
And it never occurred to you to do
Do
anything
you want me
about
to put
that.
your
that.
chair in the hallway?
You didn't do anything but what they asked you to do.
Here's the rules that I learned as a kid, and I used on my kid.
Right?
You're seen and not heard, spoke when spoken to, and you know those are
We'd
there's-
leave
this
a
is this
restaurant.
is an adult conversation. You need to leave the room. I mean, there's
We'd
All
leave
of this.
we'd leave a restaurant.
My
We'd
mom-
we'd all five of us there.
Get up
and
and leave.
my brother's crying or screaming. You have to stop that. You have to stop. You know what? If you don't, okay, fine. We're all leaving. We're going. And
You've
it didn't
ruined it for
matter
everybody. No.
whether food was coming or what was going on. We're up
outta
and
here.
we're gone.
'Cause
Versus
you don't just never other people's meals.
Right, and mob rules took over at that point. When you got home, if you were the sibling that caused every to have to go home,
Oh, you
and
got
miss it-
farted on.
Oh, you got
You got
you
farted
paid.
on.
You
it was,
paid.
yep.
Well,
it was
I was
ugly.
A while back, I was at a restaurant. What's the one with the jungle theme?
Rainforest Cafe.
Rainforest Cafe, and there was a kid. There's a mechanical monkey that kind of swings, and this kid kept reaching up and slapping the monkey when it would come toward it, and the mom's sitting there not doing a thing, Kids smacking the. This is not a cheap.
No.
I'm sure a mechanical monkey in a rainforest is not cheap. And I go, hey, I don't think he's supposed to be playing with that. And she goes, what? You've never seen a kid have fun? I go, not with shit he's not supposed to touch.
Right.
And she just like, yeah, it gives me this,
Well,
like, fuck
and
you look.
Now you're off to another part where it's none of your fucking business how she's raising her kid. But yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
'Cause she's
You're raising
not.
a shitty kid.
Right.
You're raising a shitty kid, and he will affect all of us. And when he breaks that, and you don't take responsibility for it, you blame it on poor construction or something.
Right.
No.
And then you
have
sue
a
the
shitty
restaurant.
kid. Yeah, if you slap the monkey, it falls off the wall.
Right.
Tears your eye out of your kid.
And it's not his fault.
Not his fault at all.
Now, my brother is a vegetarian and raised his two daughters vegetarian, and as much as fun as I made of him for the whole thing, I do respect, like, they would come to my mom and dad's house. You go to grandma and grandpa's house, and mom would be like, "You want a cookie?" And they would go, "No, we're not supposed to have cookies. Your dad, it's okay. Okay, well, maybe just one, I'm like, wow, that's raising a kid.
Right.
Because I know
My parents said we're vegetarian, but I went somewhere and they said, you want a cookie? I said, can I have 4?
I had a family member.
By the time you asked me if I wanted a cookie,
It was
fucking 3 of them were gone.
I had a family member. It was sort of the same situation. He married a Jewish lady, Orthodox Jewish lady with kids, and they did the whole, you want some bacon? We're not supposed to have bacon, but okay, But
Do you want some bacon?
But it's delicious.
But we're not supposed to. But okay.
That was actually, my brother did me a favor because he married a Jewish vegetarian, and that because it used to be I was the only one that lived away from home. So when he came home, mom would go, "What do you want? We're gonna have whatever you want." I'm like, I just want to be at home, hang out with my family. I don't care. No, what do you want to have for dinner? What do you have? I'm thinking about making meatloaf. She's going
'Cause
back
I know
to
that's
all
one of your favorites.
all the stuff
Yeah.
we used to have when we were kids, and blah 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 blah. And then my brother married a Jewish vegetarian. My mom was like, "Hi, I don't know what the fuck to cook. I don't know. There's nothing. I can't make any. Do we have to make 2 of them? I don't know how to do any of this. Have you tried tofurkey? It's horrible. Tofurkey's horrible."
You can't even make a quiche.
You got some kosher beans,
Yeah.
maybe.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And my grandmother kept showing up and going, they're trying to turn Mark into a Jew. I'm like, I don't know what that means.
Well, let's.
Is he happy?
Do you bite him in the neck and turn him? Is that what?
Turns out. I don't know.
Twi Jew.
I don't
whatever.
know. He's.
One step
let's
after
see.
that is gay. We've
he
almost got him.
turned him.
We got him
Went
to
ahead
Jew.
and-
He's almost a gay.
He went ahead and gave exact change. 18% tipper.
Let's take this back to the dating now. Did he know when he was
Yep, they just changed subjects.
No, we're going back to one. We're going back to one.
You don't have
that,
one
but
of
that's
those.
good. Yeah, we don't have one of them. But that's good. Thanks for keeping up, paying attention. That goes back to the dating. We're talking about dating. Do people take into consideration that if I'm marrying a somebody outside my religion, we're all fun and games right now. As soon as that baby's born, I think we should raise them Catholic. Well, I'm Jewish.
There will be issues.
There will be issues.
Yeah,
will be issues.
if you have life differences, how is it that those things aren't pre-discussed? I mean, it's one thing if you're both Protestant, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, what if you have an atheist and a Catholic?
But we love each other, and the sex is great. Well,
Did you watch Omen?
I wonder. I don't mean
We
this.
both like fish. We both went to fish concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder.
Who's going to raise Rainbow if you leave?
rainbow?
Fucking rainbow.
But I wonder this, and I don't mean it in a bad way. I just one of those that you always wonder about, like mixed relationships. If you were raised a certain way and you say I'm fine with a Hispanic girl, and then
Are you saying that because he's half bean?
yeah, I am.
Simone,
But at some point, doesn't that come into play and play bad? Because you may get
I
along.
think if you don't-
you may get along great, but the first time you're driving and a truckload of lawnmowers cut you off, and you go, "Fucking Mexicans!" I'm a Mexican. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, he's nodding. You probably know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Those things just come into play without even.
Yeah, I usually say dirty Mexican. Because yeah.
But you know what? But you see what I'm.
Yeah.
You gotta have. There's situations that you were just. I didn't mean that. Well, I see how you really are.
It
I
came,
see how
it
you
came
are.
out of you. Yeah, probably that is how I really am.
Yeah,
I didn't mean that in front of you.
I've been telling everybody I'm banging a hot Mexican chick, so I'm sorry about that.
I just been saying
I'm
fucking
just-
Mexican a lot because I've been fucking a Mexican. So.
I think, it's another thing that doesn't get addressed because we're taught not to address it.
Yeah.
In terms of what happens is
We're all equal. You look exactly.
everybody's okay and everything's fine. I think that I do believe that everybody is equal, but I believe that the way to deal with that is to address perceived differences so you can make things. It's all there.
Right.
It's all there. I mean, that's doing stand up. Invariably, your relationship winds up on stage. Something comes out, and I'll be on stage. And I'll come down and Shell will go. They came over to me and they asked because I'll say stupid shit all the time. You know why we don't have any kids? Because she likes anal, and so do I. So there we have it, and whatever. And somebody will come up and go, "Did you know he was going to say that?" And you go, "Yeah," because we address.
We already taled about it.
So what you know is that in their relationship, there's
don't
something
talk
that
about shit.
there's something that they're hiding something. There's something because they automatically think that's just like the way my husband.
That's the way he thinks.
Yeah. It's like my husband with that Mexican thing,
Yeah,
You're like,
exactly.
No, dude.
No.
Bam, it's there. It's all out there, and that's it. I mean, I'm where I'm at right now. Like I realized last Friday night, she's working, so you got a hall pass, and I go, I don't want to do anything. I would rather be with you. Wow, that just came out of my mouth.
Wow.
Holy, when did and it was never. We were talking about this off the air too, in terms of the life changes that happen that you consciously or unconsciously fight that indicate that you're in the wrong relationship or the bad relationship, that it should happen innately, that it should just change. And now you know what happens?
Where you're fighting not wanting to go out with the guy. Well, I really want to go out with the guys tonight, but she's going to get mad if I do.
And then if you can't go to her and say, you know what, I really want to go out with the guys tonight, but I don't want you to be angry, but I want us to work this out, whatever. And if she gets mad at you, then, but it's there.
You're having an actual relationship.
Well, I think
conversation. You're in a real relationship.
With any one of the three of us, most people would perceive us as a handful in a relationship, because most people are in relationships that they're not honest about. They don't walk out and just dump here's my shit. And they can either accept it or not. And I think all three of us are in really good relationships because our girls know our shit.
Yeah.
And they know that, like, if we're on the air and we say something, it's sometimes show fodder.
Well, I've had to explain. I had to explain to mine that you are a compilation.
Yes.
You are.
You're like a bracelet.
Yeah, you are.
I'm going to use you when necessary.
When I say girlfriend,
right,
you are a piece of every girl I've ever known, worked with, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You are so don't just take it. Do you really mean that? Like the other night, I tweeted. You saw your costume isn't slutty. It's just too tight.
Right.
Big difference.
Right.
And I get. Did you not like my costume?
No, it had nothing to do with you.
It had nothing to do.
It's a joke. It's a line.
It's a joke, and I was looking at people's pictures on Facebook, and like you were way too big to be rocking that, girl. Yeah,
exactly. That's I think it's. I haven't told her about my other family in Longmont, but we are, honestly, it's a great relationship that I'm in.
Up to that point.
I mean,
well, she's not going to go to Longmont anyway.
Well, and neither am I going to take her there. Any good place in Longmont, we just don't go. Actually, I took that off of her GPS. There's a big brown hole. Siri has been told, speak not of Longmont, Siri.
I had the girlfriend got the new iPhone,
the 4S,
the 4S with the talk to it. So after about the third time, I heard her go, Surrey, and I go, no, that's Tom Cruise's dog. oh, what is it? Siri. Oh, okay. Well, she was still answering.
Bitch knows her place.
All right, we're going to take another quick break, and we'll be back with Matt Need and Trevor on Remasculate. It's TRadioV.com.
Mostly with Steve.
Mostly.
Tukis will make you feel good about cleaning. Tukis are reusable dishcloths that are...
Aloha, bitches. It's MUDFLAP from the Remasculate Show with MUDFLAP and Trevor. Weekday mornings at 11 on TRadioV.com. What is Remasculate, you say? Why don't you tune the fuck in and find out? Remasculate on TRadioV.com.
Do you have to
Aloha.
talk like that?
Like what? It wasn't me.
Bitches.
Aloha. It just means hello and goodbye.
You shouldn't call them bitches.
I call everybody bitches. It's like how the British use
Brilliant. I found out that
I almost said it. I almost said the C word. Because in England, everybody, they use that just like we would dude.
You call people a cunt?
Oh, I don't, but they do.
Bloody is a much worse
Bloody
word.
cunt?
No, call him the bloody thing.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
that's a
Oh,
curse.
it's nasty. Bollocks.
Yep.
Well, we're back. And we're all looking at our phones. And
I have a
iPads.
proud parent moment.
You what?
I just got an email from my daughter's school that said, if you're receiving this email, your child has been chosen as a Soaring Student of the Month at Longmont Estates Elementary School.
Oh.
That's right, bitches.
Oh, you said bitches?
I got smart kids.
Yeah, they're all smart until they come home.
Then they
knocked
become
up.
smart asses.
Come home knocked up.
Hey,
Plant that seed now.
Fuck.
Wow.
Really? That's where you're going to send me today.
How old's your daughter? 13, right?
My oldest is 13.
Uh-huh. Okay. That's about the time. When are you going to let her date? No, but seriously, I mean, when are you going to...
16.
16, you will allow an actual...
16 is a date.
Can she double date before that? Like
No,
two
I
of
don't-
us
I don't-
them from church or go
Maybe
on
a
to the...
group. Maybe she could go on as a... I mean, she goes to group things now where a group of her girlfriends are going somewhere and there's going to... In public, that there's...
No, I'm just because I'm thinking about my nieces. And we're back to, I think dating has changed. I don't know that in this day and age that dating actually exists in terms of, because it used to be you had, I'm going to call their home, I have her home
will
phone
ask
number.
her
Her
out.
dad's
I will
going to
call them.
answer.
Right, exactly. And now you just go, I texted her and she sent me a picture
she
of her
said she-
twat.
Yeah,
When
and
you guys were young, were you allowed to answer the phone?
No.
No.
Yeah.
No, couldn't answer the phone. And when you did answer the phone, because you would memorize, and you had to pass the test.
Uh-huh.
Need residence. This is Matt speaking. Mm-hmm. And you had to
And
do
always,
that.
you had to say hello. I was always told, say hello.
Right.
Don't just go, what?
Right.
You can't say what?
What?
My mother would hang the phone up if my friends called during dinner.
Uh-huh. There was no calls allowed after a certain time. Usually, typically at our house was 8:30. And this is another thing that you brought this up that bugs the shit out of me. I don't think every kid needs a cell phone.
My two older daughters have cell phones.
That they don't need it. They just have it.
No.
There's this whole thing about just giving your kid, like the other day when I was at the Apple store, and I'm looking at these young, 7, 8-year-old, they're in there waiting to get their iPhones.
No, 13 and 11.
You don't need. How did we survive without? Well, I need
Well, because the street lights came on, we knew it was time to go
it was time
home.
to come home.
Right.
That was. I mean, there was no. I didn't. What if I need to get in touch
We had-
with you? Call the house that they're supposed to be at.
We had cell phones. It was your mom opening the door and yelling.
I-
and if you weren't within that range...
Then the car came looking for you.
We had the dinner bell from the farm where my mother grew up. But she'd
Ding-a-ling,
ring that wherever we were.
ding-a-ling.
She'd ring the dinner, and you'd hear it and go, "Oh, we're coming."
I got to go.
Yeah.
And then you ran home,
Yeah.
man. You ran home.
And you knew exactly how
How did
far.
you survive?
You didn't look at the caller ID and go, "Oh, reject,
Why
decline."
Why does your kid need a phone in school? Well, what if happens something like Columbine? And that's not really going to happen that often. I bet they're just sitting there texting each other and not paying attention in school. I bet that's probably really the more real answer there.
And that happens a lot. I'll give them that. At the same time, I think we are in a right now world, and right now things change and evolve, and we have to change somewhat with them. But there has to be boundaries, and there has to be repercussions. If you give a kid a cell phone, and they don't handle it in a respectful way,
But they're not going to. That's the you're
take it
talking
away.
like an adult, but they're not adults. You can't speak to a child like an adult.
I can
Everybody
speak
thinks
to my 13 and my 11-year-old in an adult fashion with them,
You can
understanding the consequences of their actions.
but they're not old enough. Their brain is not totally developed enough, and that is.
But how do they
Real.
learn these things? If they handle themselves wrong with their cell phone is then mine.
But why give it to them in a situation that you know will probably go bad?
We live in a real world, Steve.
No, but
1950 was a long time
See,
ago.
there we go. That's where we go, though. But that didn't make it bad. We all.
I'm
got
not saying
along.
it was bad. I'm not saying it was bad at all. But
Was there the school?
Your
shootings?
compound in Montana is a really cool, controlled environment, which we don't live in.
Yeah, times are changing.
I know they've changed, but that doesn't mean they're changed for the right. It's like the woman one night at a club yelled at me. I said something about losing weight after the baby. I had a baby. Yeah,
Right.
well, he's 16.
Yeah.
He's
Lose
16.
the weight, bitch.
What's this woman yells out at me? She goes, you're the reason there's eating disorders. And I go, what are you talking about? The average size in America is 14. I go, there's an average murder rate, but that doesn't make it
doesn't
right.
make it
doesn't
right.
make it good.
That's the point. It's a changing world. Doesn't make it changing for the right.
So-
don't just throw out phrases.
You're supposed
it's
to.
a changing
you
world.
need to control the changes. You
Well,
need to
and
be
that's
smart about
exactly
it and
where I'm-
direct it rather than because the other people that just go, it's a changing
It's a changing world.
I got no idea anymore. I just let go of the steering wheel. All right, here
Jesus,
we go.
take the wheel.
But it's the same thing on both sides, though. It's the bubble tape society where the kids aren't conditioned to learn anything, or experience anything, or bump their head and feel pain, or be let down because they failed. Where it's the same thing in what you're talking about on the opposite end of the extreme, where you got we need to be back to how it was, and this is how it is, and that's great until you don't control that kid's life anymore, and you put them out in the real world, and they got fucking serial killer eyes because they don't know what the shit's going on.
I don't see that at all, because if you're raised a certain way and you've been through the situations,
Did you
and
not see the movie with Brendan Fraser, where he's in the bunker for?
I think that I think what we're talking about ultimately are values and instilling the values in your child. And I think there are ways to do that and ways you have to watch your child and do it. And I think there's a responsibility as a parent to take care of those things. At the same time, I look at things and think I would be in 1950s society, I would be the creepy uncle because I'm 50 and single.
Right. No, you'd be the gay uncle.
That'd be
With the earrings and the sideburns.
But it would. But it's. So I think that things change. But I agree with Steve. I think there's a balance to everything. Extremism on either side is going to be ugly. But I think that with more I don't want to say rules, but with more control and an understanding of why you do things. Because now the consequences, which is what you were talking about, aren't there for a lot of people.
No.
Right. And I believe if you institute those consequences, and no different than but having internet available in your house.
All right, I'll go.
My kids have internet available in their house, but they have it under the condition and under the guise that they understand I am going to look through every fucking thing that they do online.
Oh, good for you. I'm with that. I've had this argument with single parents. Go through their shit. Go through all your kids' stuff.
Right.
That is their room.
No, it's not.
my fucking house.
Right.
You
And
know.
that- and I think-
my kid. If you do that, if you snoop, they're not going to trust you. I don't trust them.
Right.
I don't give a shit whether
Little
they
rat
trust me or
bastards.
not.
How did you wind up with body parts hidden in the house?
Right, because you didn't go in their room. Yeah.
His
How
private
how did
area.
everybody find your pot in the underwear drawer?
Yeah,
because your
because your mom went
was
through
put
your shit.
It's
And
how
I
you
think
find out about kids.
That's exactly how you guide children as the world changes and as technology changes. Yes, my 13-year-old has a cell phone. I also walk by any second of the day and pick up her cell phone and go, let's see who the hell you've been texting.
But here, let's go back to this. You want to give them a cell phone? They need the crappiest cell phone ever. That's what they need. They need the Cricket. You know what I mean?
Right.
If
my kids have Cricket.
If that's not even Cricket. I'm talking about
You know what I mean?
Jitterbug. I'm talking
You're
about
like, worse than Cricket.
Worse than Cricket. I mean, it dials. It hits 911. If you want
Rotary
to,
dial
if
cell
you want
phone.
to, if you want to be in touch, they don't need all of that.
The super data.
Why is there
everything
sexting at 10 years old? Because you
Because
gave them
they
a
can.
fucking iPhone.
Sooner or later, the human brain goes, well, let's just see what happens if I hold it here.
Yeah.
Picture of my dick.
Yeah.
There's a picture of my dick.
Right. So if you want to, if they need a cell phone, if they've got to be in touch, then here's your basic. Until you are respond. Like I told my son when he was wanting to drive a car, he goes, get my driver's license. I go, well, can I get a car? No, I'm not taking you for your driver's license because apparently you can't remember to call home. So you may not remember to use your blinker.
You may not know how to get home.
So
Right.
I'm not just because you're 16 does
Doesn't
not
qualify
mean
you. It's not automatic.
it's automatic, and there's too many of that. Too much of that.
And there's also the
they're 16. I bought them a car.
But Billy has one.
My 13-year-old, we got her like the crappy flip phone. I mean, like the worst where you had to text with like 333 to get us,
Right.
over to the letter
DEF.
Right,
DEF.
right.
And T9.
Even the crappy before T9 when you had to press all three letters to get to the third. She wanted a better phone, And I can appreciate that because once you have something, you see other things out there. I said, that's cool. I appreciate the fact that you want a better phone. How are you going to earn it?
Work for it.
And she did. And she bought her own phone and she moved up. I mean, she didn't get to move up to fancy dancy, everything in the world, blah, blah, blah. But she saved her money. She moved up a phone with the same rules and understanding. I don't give a shit what you're in the middle of. If I walk by and say, give me your phone.
No.
That means
It's my phone.
give me your phone. And
No,
she knows. I
turns
just
out.
stick my hand out. I just walk over and stick my hand out. She puts her phone in my hand.
Well, I think
Why wouldn't a parent go through a room? I don't understand why.
Yeah,
What is the rationale of a
because
parent?
the child is in charge.
Exactly.
I know.
That whole best friend shit drives me crazy. That's what I used to watch that daytime TV, and there'd be like, the 13-year-old kid
Right.
is on the show with mom, and we're best
best
friends.
friends.
Yeah, well, that's why you're on TV, and she's 13 with 2 kids.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're best friends. You didn't just smack the shit out of her and say, I'm chaining you to the bed because that boy's trouble. I mean, there's, you know what I mean? There's,
Yeah. See, and that's the other part of it is how does this shit end up where the 15-year-old girl's dating the 22-year-old guy, and the parents are on the TV show going, we just couldn't keep them apart.
They couldn't. How about
Are you
prison?
fucking
How about
kidding
prison?
me?
You call the cops and the guy's taken away.
How
about that?
How about me knocking on his door?
Right. How about dad?
I'll keep you
stepping
guys apart.
It does. At some point, it falls apart because the parenting starts when you have the kid, and you can't go. I'm going to take a little break now. I'll come back when you're. Because I always thought the reason I don't have a kid is because I'd have to just be a pet carrier till he was 17, and then I'd go, cool, you're out.
Yeah, you're done. Get out. Get out. Do you know how to feed yourself?
Yeah, move on.
Oh, you know what annoys me too is when you see kids that don't know how to eat with utensils. You ever be at a restaurant and you see like a backward shovel in, like a fork, and you're like,
What do you guys do at home?
What do you do at home? Did you? I remember all the stuff, and it may be back to that was the Stone Age, but we were taught things for situations in the future. My mother taught me to
rituals of behavior that allow you to interact with the society around you.
Right. I learned to waltz because one day I might need that.
Yeah, I never learned to waltz, but I mean,
I learned to set a table, completely set a table, and forks, and
because
the
you know
knives,
how to do things.
Because I do
right.
that, and because my mom used to say, "Well, you never know. One day you might get to eat dinner at the White House." That was, like you have to know.
Right.
As before
beyond,
she heard it stand up.
You earn certain things, and you're capable of certain things.
and you need to be ready for things beyond where you are now. That was that whole. And if you didn't know, we were told, always watch.
Right.
If
don't
you
ever act first if
you don't know
just,
what you're doing. Look around. Did they pick up the outside fork? You pick up the outside fork. Not just,
it's no different than dressing anymore. Nobody knows how to dress appropriately for anything. I mean, we all have our own styles, and we dress down for most because this is what we do. But if you have to go to court, you know how to put on a suit.
I'm not wearing a wife beater tee to court,
right?
Which you see.
You see it.
See it.
There are choices that people
They
make.
walk in with the ball cap on, and the judge has to tell them 3
Take
times.
your hat off.
Take your hat off in my court.
I think when I was a kid and you got on an airplane, or you were in your Sunday best, and you were because your behavior was also
reflected in your clothes,
right?
Because it changes the way you interact with the people around you and the way you treat the people around you,
right?
And the way they treat you.
If you had your "don't mess these clothes up" clothes on, you knew exactly what was P's and Q's time.
How many of us heard this? Okay, we're home. Change out of your church. Change out of your church clothes.
Go put your play clothes on.
Play clothes on.
You don't play in those.
You don't play in those.
I had a red, white, and blue. I was a red, white, and blue blazer with a reversible vest. One side was blue and one side was red, and I think there were 2 pairs of pants that went with it. And that was for
that was Sunday clothes.
They were bought slightly big for me, and I wore them until they were slightly little for me. And then, but that was your Sunday clothes, and they hung on a hanger, and you put them away, and you know how to put that stuff away. But changed your behavior. We don't do it anymore.
You want to think. This will put things into perspective. Look at an old house, like the other day when we walked through over here, or look at any old house. The closet space is about this big.
Yeah.
That's it, because that's what you had. There was your 2 pairs of pants and your jacket.
Right.
There was your play pants, and there probably 3 or 4 shirts that you wore to school, and laundry got done.
Right.
And people were like, I don't have enough closet space in this thing. What is the closet? How did we live for years without overspending on clothes?
I'm horribly guilty of that. I'm horribly guilty.
We wind up with other things. I'm conscious of coming in and going, when was the last time I wore that?
Oh, yeah.
Because
Because we're
people
on
go,
camera.
What are you? You don't have any other clothes?
You got 3 shirts?
What if I don't? What if I only? Why do I need more than 3 shirts?
Right. What do I cover my chest. I
yeah,
cover
I don't know.
my butt with these pants. Yeah, I wore them again. What?
I don't know. I'm wearing khakis because I bought them yesterday.
Because all my other clothes were dirty
for
and
my
these
Halloween
were on sale.
costume. Well, actually, these fit me, and my other pants don't so much no more.
Are you
Getting fat?
No, losing weight. That's
No,
where I was going.
getting fat.
Oh, are you going the other way?
I'm getting fat.
Because I knew you lost a.
Yeah, I put some weight back on because I rationalize now. It's, you don't have a job. This will probably make you feel better.
Some donuts?
Yeah, fuck it. I haven't had any. I bought them and now I bring them to somebody else. Here, I haven't had any.
You get fed. That's what you keep telling me.
Well, I do that with alcohol since I don't drink.
No.
I'll buy I've never had this before. I ordered this. Tell me if that's a good. Tell me if that's
Is that a good
Is
one?
that a good drink? What is that? Is that pepper vodka sounded good? Is it
But
good?
it's when we moved, the girl and I moved into our place, which was built probably in the 50s, and it has. I mean, the master bedroom has a closet that's maybe as wide as that door.
Yeah,
and that's it. And it's not a walk-in closet where
Yeah, and because you had dressers.
Where do you put the rest of your shoes?
There was dressers.
So the rest of my shoes.
Yeah.
I don't have many shoes.
See, and you know what?
I'm
I can tell you.
I'm a shoe whore.
I'm a shoe whore, bad. And I can tell you where it stems from. I overcompensate now because we were really poor growing up. And I remember going to school and everyone else, like for picture day, everyone was dressed up all the way and they had the right shiny shoes on with the pants, and the button-up shirt and the jacket. And I had a pair of shoes.
Yeah, but they're only shooting you from the here
and
up.
that's what I got from my parents was your school pictures only from here up, and I had the same. They bought me a pair of tennis shoes.
That's the look.
Yeah, they bought me a pair of tennis shoes the week before school started, and they bought me another pair of tennis shoes.
That's why I was raised
the week before school started, and that's how it was. And I was always like, I was always almost envious because guys would have. Specific shoes and I was an athlete my whole life, and I never ever had the correct shoes for the sport I was playing. I was always that kid that had even like in late in high school when you're in competitive sports, showing up in tennis shoes.
Yeah. Were you supposed to have cleats, but you were your dad's golf shoes?
Yeah, it's that kind of crap. And so I think as an adult now, I've severely overcompensated because I have 12, 13, 14 pair of shoes.
What about when you had something and they gave it to you and they said, now you're going to have to take care of this because this is the only one we're giving you.
Right.
And then you fucked around with it and you broke it.
Uh-huh.
Did you get a new one?
No, you didn't get another one. Which
See,
now is like,
now you're come on, I broke it.
I broke my phone. Well, let's go down to the Apple store.
No.
Make sure it happens.
I guess you'll earn enough money to get another one.
You're just not going to have one. Well, how am I going to get by?
I don't know.
I remember when I gave you the phone, I told you.
Better learn
don't
smoke
do that.
signals, bitch. Yeah. We're going to take another break. We'll be back with more Remasculate right after this from Tookies.
Tookies.
Tukis will make you feel good about cleaning. Tukis are reusable dishcloths that are hand-woven with eco-friendly 100% organic cotton. Tukis, handcrafted in India, will make a difference in your home, your life, and the lives of the Indian women who weave them with dignity and pride. Working to stand
24/7 on the net at tradiov.com. Get it before it gets you.
Not remasturbate.
No, you can't do that.
Not for at least a half an hour.
At least.
You only got the one shot.
Make it good.
Yep.
You get one shot.
That's it, man. Sorry.
Oh.
Did you ever go deer hunting as a kid?
No. Not big. My father was a hunter. My grandfather was a hunter. My uncle, and they're all stone deaf.
Huh?
So they were like, "Yeah, we're not going. You don't go hunting." They didn't hunt deer. They hunted birds.
Yeah, I love bird hunting.
Indiana,
That's
yeah.
more little. But they always remember as a kid would take it. You get one good deer hunt. You get that one shot because you miss.
And he's
they're
gone. He's gone.
They're gone.
No, I never hunted. Never did. I'm still stuck on the closet size, and how, because now I'm thinking back to when I was a kid. Trevor brought it up. When you got a shirt, you got the new shirt, and it was your new shirt,
And you could not wait to wear it
Yeah,
the next day.
right.
You
And
could not wait for school.
and it was, I'm going to put on, and then you remember your new shirt, and there's my new shirt, and then it becomes the older shirt, and you wait for a new shirt again, and you get a new shirt. Now you go out and you go, I bought 4 shirts and whatever.
Right.
I don't care.
I liked it, so I got it all in the same color. I got all
I
different
got all the
colors.
colors.
I got all the colors.
See, I still am very frugal in that. I shop at like Plato's Closet, upscale resale places, because I can't afford to buy like $150 jeans, but I can buy the $150 jeans for $39.
Right. Somebody else has already farted in.
Right. And I'm okay with it.
More money for shoes.
Used underwear. That's the only thing I don't do.
Yeah, can't do that. I don't mind the used clothes at all.
I think I've given up. I'm just, because again, I'm thinking back to how, I want the shirt, and this shirt will go with these pants, and now I just kind of go, well, it's clean. Ish. Whatever's,
Clean-ish. It's in the
Smell
clean
test?
pile.
Yeah, it's in the cleaner pile.
You know what I don't worry about anymore is if something has a hole in it.
No, that's style.
I used to work like, oh man, my favorite T-shirt. It's got a hole in it.
My mom I'll walk into the house to this day with a shirt that's got a hole, or jeans that I bought specifically that have wear in them.
Like the ones I have on right now that are designed to.
Right. Just like that. I'll walk into the house and my mom will say, "Oh my God, do you need me to sew those? Do you not have any?
Okay.
Do you not have any money? Do you need?
Have you ever seen? Well, first of all, in your mother's sewing kit.
Yes.
First of all, have you ever seen your mother's sewing kit?
Right,
That's
where I was headed.
Yeah.
And then there's the sock darner, the wooden ball, the wooden knob that you put the sock over so that you could sew the holes back up in your sock. We don't do that anymore.
No.
We are a disposable society.
I'm
now.
horrible about socks. I'll wear socks until I just I buy all the same sock. And I'll go and buy 2 packs of them, and I go to my sock drawer, and I dump the sock drawer in the trash, and I put it back down. Yeah, let's not talk about your socks. That's just wrong on a lot of levels. But I go buy...
Fucking Dr. Seuss leg just popped up on the table.
I buy 2 packs of the same sock. I go home, I take my sock drawer, I dump it in the trash, I open the 2 packs of socks, and I put them in the drawer, and that's it. Even if there were several of the pairs were still... just fine that I had. I don't like new socks mixed with old socks.
But that doesn't bother. I just weed it out as like, oh, this one has a hole in it. Sock is gone.
Right.
A sock is gone.
A sock is gone.
Not the pair.
Because I buy typically by the until just recently I started buying. I love these
crazy socks.
Crazy socks. But for a long time I would just buy the 2 bags of 12 pair of white and 12 pair of black.
Right.
Yeah. It didn't matter. They all go together.
And you just grab 2.
Grab 2. I just grabbed 2 because it didn't matter. But one got a hole. It's out. But I'm horrible at underwear. I know women will buy underwear. I've had the girlfriend like, I just bought new underwear. Why? Well, they were on. I needed them.
They're on sale.
How do you know you need them? I don't know that I need them. You need them. You need them.
There was
I know how I need
shit
them.
on the inside of your good pants. You need underwear.
Because my big
That's how
fat
you know
thighs
it.
have rubbed through both of the walking areas.
You know when I buy underwear, when I go to pull them up and my thumbs shoot out from underneath the waistband.
I wonder if a little elastic ring around my waist.
when the waistband becomes suspenders.
Yeah. I guess I need new underwear. I don't think about buying just like,
I've actively, and I know, like I'd need underwear right now. I could probably use new underwear. And yesterday I was at Army Surplus, where I love shopping at Army Surplus.
Because you're like, what? They have this here.
But I walked by and went, I should buy some underwear while I'm. No, I don't want to.
Did you get some MREs?
So, I didn't check on those. That place I love. You want to take me? I can go to a mall, but I'd rather go to Army Surplus.
Did you get some?
There's some fun stuff.
Did you get some ammunition boxes?
My Dickies. I'm wearing khakis that are work pants. Dickies. These things, honestly, they haven't been washed yet. They're so stiff that last night I passed out at the bar and I was still standing up.
That's how stiff they were.
I'm just
Like
saying.
green jeans?
Yeah. Do you
remember green jeans?
Do you want a little starch with those?
My mom
yeah.
still irons and starches jeans.
So does mine. Mm-hmm. In fact, my mother called me, and this is I'm the only one who really lives away from home. And you get that call where you go, "This is a good." No, she says, "You're the only one I could tell this to." And I think, "Good? No, wait, good? No, I don't know."
Yeah.
Okay, tell me the story. She said, "I was ironing your father's shirt for work this morning, and it smelled awful, just smelled horrible, and I couldn't figure out why. And then I look around, and it turns out instead of the starch, I'd grabbed a roach killer, and then so my father's bug free, but he smells odd. But that's that thing where I'm going, is this because she's 77?
Yeah.
Should I call my dad and go, hey, you might want to keep an eye on her?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Whatever she makes with mixed coffee with you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to be careful because he'll call and go, everything was fine, and then one day she burnt the house down. Well,
I told you.
You know what, Dad? There's something I probably should have let you in on a while back.
About 10 years ago,
Yeah.
she started using bug spray on your shirts.
All the time. She's now washed her cell phone twice. She calls me from the home phone and leaves it, and still doesn't get that it comes up, says home or says,
Right.
And she, don't call me on my cell phone. I washed it. I put it through the laundry. And then she called me again a week ago. Oh, I put my cell phone through the laundry again. And then yesterday she called me and she said, I have my cell phone. I have a new cell phone now. She can call me on my cell phone again. I said, be careful. She goes, oh, I'm not doing laundry anymore.
It all smells like road spray. No, isn't it amazing that our parents are like mystified and stumped by the cell phone? Obviously, yours sound like they have a little bit of trouble with it. My dad is constantly changing cell phones. That was crap. I couldn't get any service in the backyard, so I took it back to Walmart. Got this new one.
Imaginary problems that don't exist.
Yeah, or the ones that we accept because you understand technology. Like, this does not work well in the left corner of my basement. But I didn't go, this is bullshit. It doesn't work in the basement. I'm taking this sumbitch back.
My poor mother, my nieces changed grandma's ringer, changed the language to Japanese. I mean, she leaves it to just fuck with grandma and then call her and watch her
love
go.
it.
What?
Oh, she had no idea what was happening. I used to know when she was calling and my phone would ring and it was her on her cell phone. And she can't, because they're used to, there's a round end that goes in your ear, and then there's a long thing that brings it down to your mouth. And then you're talking, and there you have it. But this
you watch them, they do this.
Yeah, that's all over. And I'd hear, and you could tell her, so it'd go, hello? 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 Oh, this darn thing. Click. And I'd go, that just means call mom. That's all that means. Call her on the house phone because she hasn't figured out her cell phone. And she's not doing laundry today, so she'll be there. This darn thing. She has a give up. I think there's a give up factor where we are, the nature of us, we're going to figure this out. I'm going to stay here until you know what I mean?
I will make that, because I will do that. Like, I will figure out how to work this program. I will get this to install.
Right.
I will, whatever.
It's going to happen. And my mother will just go, I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. If you go to my parents' house, her laptop is on her desk. Next to her laptop is an IBM Selectric typewriter.
And she still uses it.
Oh, yeah. In fact, before she'll use I'll get letters asking how to email.
Well, my mom and dad, they love email asking.
No, letters asking how to email.
Letter in the mail asking me.
Can you email on Sundays?
Can you help me? Can you help me with this?
My mom and dad love westerns. They got DirecTV, and that's got the Encore Western. Mm-hmm. They love westerns. They'll sit and watch westerns, and I go, well, there's a new one on BBC America called Copper that's really good. Oh, we ought to watch that. Your father and I ought to watch that. Yeah, you should. It's really good. Because I watch it and I love it. Well, they watched about 10 minutes. That is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. It moves so slow.
There's no time.
There's no, like, it's you. They only want, give me Matt Dillon. Just let me see Matt Dillon again.
Right.
they can't
That's
really.
all
It's not new. I didn't know who that guy was. My mom goes, all the characters look alike. It was supposed to be the Irish in New York. It's basically what it's about.
They did.
You know, it's the turn of the century. They wore bowler hats, and they all look alike. Well, yeah, they have mustache. I couldn't tell the good guy from the because they're not really good guys and bad guys.
It's just a movie.
It's yeah.
They are I called home one day, and my mother picked up the phone and she said, "Your father knew it was you." And they've got Dad has hooked, and my father is tech savvy. He's got it down. He had wired set the phone up because it comes through Comcast, which is where they have
and to be on the TV.
Yeah, so it came up on. So he was watching TV in the living room. Before it rang, it popped up there, and he said, "Matt's calling." Then the phone rang, and it was you. Oh my God! I'm like, no.
You know, I think when your father fell and hit his head, I think it
tuned the plate just right.
It kicked in.
Yeah. No, my dad's got the, I think it's called an Olive. It is, he's got every CD that they ever owned, like all 300 of them, is on this giant, it's basically a giant iPod. It just sits in the corner and it broadcasts, and he's had it for 10 years. It's on the wireless. So wherever you are in the house, you can pick up the music that he's got on that thing. It's a big shared play it wherever you are.
An Olive?
Olive. Oh, yeah, it's the Olive, and it's this huge thing. I'm guessing that it's probably been surpassed by whatever, but at the time, I was like, wow, Dad, cool. And my mother would just, and part of me says,
I don't know why your dad bought that. I don't know.
I used to be able to play music. Now I don't have any idea. None. And that, I'm guessing if the power goes out at the house, my mom starts over again. She just makes it,
you got to reboot your mom.
Is this it?
The Olive? You got a picture of it?
It's a.
Oh, this is the advanced Olive.
Is it like a jute box, sort of like a wireless?
No, it's
box?
a little black box with a wireless. It's got that Wi-Fi antenna looking thing on it, and those all look like they're ancient, the ones you're finding. But no, that's my father keeps
like
up
that.
with technology and just dust. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And it dusts my mother. She has no.
Do you know what to get your parents when it comes to gift? Like Christmas is coming up. Do you have any idea, or do you get like, I don't know what to get them in this at some point?
Well, I get them a book, and then I think they're gonna. I can get a book for my mom, or I can get a book for my father. My father's arts and crafts. out of his mind. He taught my girlfriend how to make glass beads, so now we have a torch at the house to make glass beads, and he taught her he does woodworking. Every time we go home with my girlfriend, I don't see my father or my girlfriend. They're out in his workshop doing stuff, and I'm sitting inside with Mom trying to explain how to use the phone and why bug spray is bad to iron into a shirt. I don't know because the other side of it is I go, if I get them something really nice, what's the rules? Do I get it back?
Am I just buying this for myself?
Yeah, because
am I buying this for my brother? When Dad goes?
What if this doesn't come back to me?
Right. If it happens, I think there needs to be, again, things a good family addresses. Listen, from here on out, whatever you get Mom and Dad reverts to you if they die.
Right. You call your brothers who go, I just bought them a big screen TV.
It's mine.
It's mine. Right? We all agree. When I give this for them for Christmas.
It's not a gift. It's a loan. Change the way you're thinking, and you'll figure out what they really want.
Because you're like, well, all they do is watch TV and work in the yard. So those are the only two. What goes with the TV?
So I'm getting him a self-propelled lawnmower because
I would
find out I'm going to need one of those.
I'm going to need one of those.
Well, she already talks like she's coasting in. My mother, every time we go home, she's like, I feel bad for you. Why? Because you live in Colorado. You're not going to get anything. What do you mean? Oh, you mean when you die? Well, I wasn't really. That's not why we came to visit.
I didn't come to take inventory.
I wasn't putting my colored sticker on the stuff.
That's what she wants us to do. She wants us to mark shit. My girlfriend just goes, Barbara, we're just going to take the house. They can have everything in it. We just want the house. That's all we want. Just one thing. My mom's going, and you could see like,
well, you can't.
Circuits are fused.
I never really thought about this before, but my girlfriend. Her family is sort of going through this where grandma died and left the house to the kids, and they have been fighting over it. So now it is an abandoned, torn up piece of shit because they couldn't decide on who got it.
Nobody can be there.
Nobody can be there and couldn't take care of it. And now it's been broken into and ripped off, and now it's basically useless. So I think those conversations need to be had long before parents do pass on. So, all right, guys, we got to wrap up the show here. We've had a great time. Thanks for sitting in.
Thanks
Matt.
for inviting me, man.
We've had some deep and funny conversations. You took Trevor down a road with his daughters that he's going to think about now, and it's been fun. So let's just say, God bless America, and go listen to some Oak Ridge Boys. I bid you adieu
And aloha.